Hey everyone, this is Lance from MTG Lance channel doing another Born of the Gods set review. We're going to start with blue, start out with one of the rares. I'm just going to hop right into these guys because last time it took 15 minutes, it took forever to render. So just jump right in here and get started. Starting with Arbiter of the Ideal, or Arbiter. Don't click it. No! Go back. I don't want to. Oh, there we go. 4 any 2 blue for a 4/5 flying. Whenever the ideal becomes untapped, you may reveal top card of your library. If it's an artifact, creature, or land, you may put it onto the battlefield with manifestation counter on it. That permanent is an enchantment. In addition to its other types. I think this is alright. I think this could be interesting and really messed up because you can easily just put on an Emrakul onto the battlefield. Uh, if you guys really don't know, think about that. That's what this possibly could do. Standard play, none. Limited, not really. I want to say this is a bomb, but it's not a bomb. Sorry there. But it's very good and limited. It's very fun if you're able to. It has the evasion, so you're probably going to be able to untap it each turn. And due to that, you're going to be able to mill out your decks. Not mill out, but start grabbing the top cards and getting more card draw. Well, card advantage on the board. And get that going. So moving on to the Kraken. That looks freaking weird. Chomo Kratos. 5 any, 2 blue for an 8/8. So 5, 6, 7 for an 8/8. This is very good base stats. It's very good. It's starting higher than the mana cost, and that's what you. It's going to good, uncommon to rare, or higher. It's a legendary creature, but unless it's attacking or blocking, it has hexproof. Meaning this is going to hit the board. If you let it hit the board, just be very big and be a problem. And it can't be blocked unless all creatures defending block it. This is a bomb in limited. B-O-M-B, bomb. This is very good as a bomb because it's an 8/8 hexproof. And they're not going to be able to do much about it except block with all their creatures. Otherwise, they're getting hit 8 per turn. That's a big life swing there, guys. That's very influencing in those limited games. Next is Mind Reaver, 2 blue for 2/1, heroic, and you make whenever you cast a spell that targets him, exile the top 3 cards that player's library, sacrifice it for 2 blue, and counter target spell with the same name as the card with Mind Reaver. I'm both sides of this card. I think this could either be broken or very bad and be one of those rares that you just don't want when you open up a pack and you're like, okay, so which in common is worth more than this card? I'm not kidding, guys. This could either just go both ways and someone could break it and just make a exile deck or something that just targets it crazy amounts and then just counters it, or it just is very bad. So that one's still up for debate in the air for me. I don't know where this card can go. Next is Whelming Wave, which is 2 any and then 2 blue, and return all creatures to their owner's hands except for Krakens, Leviathans, Octopus, and Serpents. This is very flavorful, very interesting. It's not a very good bounce spell, to be honest, but it's very interesting in the sense of what it does, except Krakens, Leviathans, Octopuses, and Serpents. It's like, let's put an ocean deck together, bouncing all your stuff, but not mine. I mean, you can keep your Kraken down here on the battlefield while everything else is gone, so you got an 8/8 now, and whenever you play something, it has to block it. Otherwise, you're taking 8, so have fun with that. Next is the Perplexing Chimera, which is a 5 cost, 4 any, 1 blue for a 3/3. So, base stats pretty low, so I'm thinking, when you look at these rares and uncommons, if the base stats of a creature, even commons sometimes, if you look at the base stats of the mana cost compared to base stats, you're wanting to be around the same amount, and if it's lower, you're expecting a better ability. And that's what I've come to know and believed in, and I mean there's always exceptions to the rule, so it's not a defined rule, but it still works very well. And whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may exchange control of this creature and that spell. If you do, you may choose new targets to that spell. The thing is this works the first time. I mean, your opponent does something, and you're like, yay, I get to copy and exchange because I want that spell and choose new targets for it. But then it's like, Okay, I Sphinx's Revelations. Well, no, no, you don't. I switched this card with it, and I Sphinx's Revelations. It is like, what? It's just, ugh. Ah. And you're like, guess what, guys? I got a 3/3 back. And this is like, it just isn't good. It just isn't. You're getting back your guy that you don't want back. And you want their spells. But, I mean, it would be better if he's. No, you can only do this once. But otherwise, this isn't very good. I just really think this is terrible. This is a terrible rare, and it's not even good and limited, I don't think. That's my honest opinion. Next is Faded how do you say that? Infuation. It's 3 blue for an instant spell, and you put the token onto the battlefield that's a copy of a target creature you control. If it's your turn, you scry 2. So, I mean, this isn't, like, spectacular, but it's pretty interesting that you get to copy creatures for 3 mana. If you're running this in blue, there's other 3-drops you pretty much want to play, like Thassa, Night Veil Spectre if you're running it, and I don't know, making a copy of something isn't, like, high priority. I could see this being run in some tabletop decks like Master Biomancer. This makes it speed up really quickly. That's it pretty much for that card, though. Get away, tab. Get away from me. Okay, it's gone now. Any more rares? That's it? Oh my god, there's mono blue's not very strong. To be honest, there's nothing crazy in blue. I mean, there's some crazy stuff in white, but blue's just like really lacking it, I think. For the uncommons now, Archetype of Imagination, it is a 6-drop for a 3/2, so very weak. Creatures you control have flying, and your opponents lose flying. I did not want to do that. But I think this is very weak because it hits. Shock hits it. So much stuff burns this creature so easily for 2. Phyrexian Cure hits it. Meaning it's going to get. You're investing all this mana into this thing, but it's very weak. Not even a bomb. It's not even that good. It's terrible. Not good. Thassa's Rebuff. 1 blue. Counter-target spell unless its controller pays X, where X is your devotion to blue. I think this is very good because mono blue needed a boost of some sort due to the fact that mono black's seeing a huge boost, which it doesn't need. This makes counterspelling a lot easier to do, especially if you have a board presence. It's not crazy. I mean, it's not like an insane counterspell, but it's good. I mean, it's better than what a lot of the counterspells right now, actually. I think it's very good compared if you're running mono blue. Otherwise, no. If you just have a little bit of blue and you go on for control basis, it's terrible because this relies on the devotion. Area Worshippers, a 4-drop, 1 blue, 3 any for a 2/4, and whenever it untaps, you may pay 3 and put a 2/2 flyer. Limited, very good. Standard, no play. Limited, I really like this because you're able to get 2/2 flyers, meaning invasion, and that's what you want. Meltus Astronomer, a 2-cost, a 1/3. Whenever you cast a spell that targets him, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal an enchantment card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest at the bottom of your library in any order. This reminds me of Augur of the Bolus. If you weren't playing around there, it was whenever it enters the battlefield, look at the top 3 cards of your library and you choose one of them, I think. Something like that, but this is like the enchantment heroic type idea, and it's very good. It has the same base stats and everything, except it's not. I think the last one was in a common, it may have been rare, but since it needs to be targeted and it automatically happens, they probably downgraded it. But it's still a pretty good ability. I mean, good and limited to help you look for your enchantments. Standard play, maybe. If there's a blue-white deck, it may hit it, maybe not. It's very debatable. I really don't think this is the greatest 2-drop. There's other 2-drops you want to be hitting. Next is Vortex Elemental. It is just really weird. And each creature attacking or blocked by it on top of their own library, then shuffle those libraries. And it's a 1-drop. Oh, that's weird. 0/1 for 1, and then 5 target creature blocks an elemental that starts up for the low cost of 6 mana. You can shuffle creatures back into their people's graveyards. Libraries, I mean. Not very good and very weak. Get away from me, huh? Going with that Kraken Serpent thing is your Kraken here. 5-drop, 7-drop for a 6/6. So not bad there. Creatures with power less than the number of islands you control can't block him. bomb and limited is running mono blue because this is just a 6/6 unblockable for 7. Very good. Otherwise, nothing. I really don't see this being highly played unless you're going mono blue commander, because then it's like, yay, let me swing in because you can't do anything. Next is a tribute card, 3 tribute, so it's 5 for possibly 4/4. Otherwise, you gain control of the target creature, which is very good, but very weak because I'll just make it a 4/4 for 5 flyer. No big deal. This is interesting. It's a 4 cost. I wish it was cheaper. If it was 2 or 3 costs, I would love this card and play it because enchanted creature has scry 1 and then draw a card. So it's like, let me look what I'm getting. Okay, I'll draw right into this. They really amped up the price for it, not the price, the mana cost for it, and that's what they needed. An ordinary bestow cost, they can't be blocked. It's a 1/1 for 2. You're really not going to bestow this, but late game and maybe get bestowed in limited. Otherwise, it's not the greatest. A 1/1 unblockable though is fun, especially if you can enchant it with a whole bunch of other stuff. And there's a battlefield draw card when each enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. But it's a 6-drop, so that's that. Going on to then the commons now. No commons there. No commons there. Okay, Sudden Storm is a 4-drop. Up to 2 target creatures. Tap up to 2 target creatures. Those creatures don't untap during their control's unstep and draw 1. Very good unlimited. Just tap down the board. They don't untap. Get rid of those creatures, and I get to see what I'm doing next turn. Next is the bestow creatures that are just ordinary bestow, overpriced, and really weird. I really don't like these. 3 for 2/3. I would normally just base stat these and not even go for the bestow because it's not going to be good, and you're not going to be able to have the mana unless you have Irosis. It's just too expensive. Next is the Serpent, 5 for 4/4 and counterattack unless you have enchantment. Unless you bounce an enchantment, which actually could be good. Yeah, that's not that bad actually. Bouncing an enchantment and then re-putting the enchantment back on. That's not that bad. Krippus is a 1/any, 1 blue. Target creature you control gains protection from creatures, evasion, and till end turn, or just and untap it. So either you're going in and invading them, or you're going to protect your stuff from getting killed. Next is Nullify, which is counter target creature or spell. I see this sideboarding in for mono blue, just in case there is heroic decks is really just shuts it down. Next is Divination, 1 blue, 2/any, draw 2 cards. This is actually in standard right now and isn't going to move out of the set right now. So it's weird how there's 2 Divination cards in the same set that are still printed. It's very interesting, and I don't think that's happened before, and I may be wrong, but I'm not that old. Next is Stratus Walk, 1 blue, 1/any, and you draw a card. And it has flying, but it can only block creatures with flying. So setback, but still good because it has flying, so it's evasion. Very good limited, maybe standard, don't think so. 5-drop for a 2/2 flyer. When it is tapped, becomes untapped, draw a card. Not very good. Good in limited, I guess. It's alright in limited, but besides that, not much. This one I actually like. Retraction Helix. It is very good art. And I see this like it's one of those cards you can see getting played. Until a target creature has tapped, return non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Very good. I mean, you can do it at instant speed. At the end of your turn, okay, I'll pay 1, tap my creature, and bounce back that menacing pain. So it's very good, especially in limited and maybe even in constructed. And it's a 1 cost. It's very good. 1 blue enchant creature. Creature has pay 2. 1 blue, 1/any. Target color puts the top 3 cards of his library into his or her graveyard to help with that god. That's all that it really is. Next is Deep Water Hypnotist. Yeah. 1 blue, 1/any, and whenever becomes untapped, target creature gets -3, -0. So that's alright. It's not very good. Maybe limited to help curve, but that's it. Next is a 4-drop. It's heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets it, you scry 1 flyer. Very good and limited because it's a 4 for a 3/2 flyer, so evasion. And then if you make it bigger or whatever, you get to scry and stuff. So that's my best limited card out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed. That's all. Later. Peace.